This lesson I'm going to show you how to add external font, especially Font Awesome, and as well we're going to look at how we can add in some Google fonts into our web project. So let's begin by opening up Font Awesome, and we're going to link to it. So just like what we did, I'm going to get rid of the styling. So this is that index page here at the top. I'm going to get rid of that on-page styling there. And just as we link out to our style sheet, we can link out to a Font Awesome library. And there's a number of different options here for installing and setting up Font Awesome. You could download it, and just as we linked to that local file, we can link to its minified CSS. And quick note on the difference between the minified version and the regular version, and this is just how white space is handled. So minified version will technically load faster because it's just a reduced white space, so there's no white space within the file, and it makes it a little bit smaller and loading faster. So I'm going to use the Font Awesome CDN. There's one available at bootstrapcdn.com. So if you go to Font Awesome, they've got Font Awesome presented here, and we've got a number of different ways to bring it into our project. So I'm going to bring it in via the HTML link. So we could just simply link out to this file, or we could get this one that's got some more integrity there, some more more security there because it's cross origin and so on. And the good thing about using CDNs is that sometimes it can get your website to load faster. So if a number of other websites that the user's gone to has already used this Font Awesome file, then it might already be cached within their browser. So again, quicker load times, especially if these files get cached within browsers. And also, I don't have to bother downloading it for the lesson, so this is another reason why I'm using it. So now I can quickly link to any of the Font Awesome files, and just going to jump quickly into my HTML because this is where I'm actually going to be adding in that Font Awesome. So one of the things here is that whenever we shrink that navigation bar down, I want to display essentially a way to something to click, and this is where I was going to use Font Awesome. So I'm going to use the class, and they've got these FA bars, and this is generally used to indicate a menu, so we see it gets popped up there, and maybe I want to give this one an ID, so I'm going to give it an ID and mini menu. So this is just the mini menu bar. So this is in anticipation whenever we shrink it down that this is going to show up, and then the user can use this to be able to see their main menu. And maybe in here we can pull up, jumping back out to our website, so maybe we can get some kind of picture here that we could substitute instead of a logo. So I'm going to do grayscale, and maybe this could be our company logo. So I'm going to just copy image address, pop back over to here, and I'm going to place this in here, wrap it in some image tags, so that now we have a placeholder for our company logo. So let's go back out and check out our web page when I refresh it. So now we've got our company logo, we've got our nav bar, whenever the page is small that the user can click and it can pop open the navigation area, and then over here we've got all of our sections. And let's go over and cover off one more thing in this lesson, and that's how to add in fonts. So we're going to use Google Fonts in order to access a font library, and maybe we want to pick something. So they've got 779 font families available in Google. Idea is the same, that we simply link out to them. So we can sort them. So maybe if we want to have this handwriting effect to it, so this is always a really kind of neat effect to your website. So I'm just trying to find one that maybe is kind of neat and different. So if I wanted my website to use this Gloria font, we've got a few options to add it in. So we've got, I'm going to just select quick use. So it gives us some more information about it. We can either link to it as we did within our HTML, so we could link to it into our website in this format, or I can do an import of it within my CSS. So this is the way that I'm going to bring it in, so that we do have different ways that we bring things into our web project. And all we need to do is just copy that URL, and this is going to work the same way as I would when I was placing that link here. And remember, if you are using the linked version in the HTML, to place it in front of your style CSS, because you want that library to be up and ready to go before your CSS tries to access it. And now, in order to access it, they also provide us a way to write that in. So now all we need to do is font family, and if I go over to here, so let's see the transformation. So I'm going to refresh it, and maybe in the sections here I want to have this type of font. So there we go. So that's how we bring in Google Fonts, and a lot of fonts to choose from, and just some really quick ways to get access to some really nice styling cues. So just want to demonstrate that. And so the next coming lessons, we're going to start to clean this up. I'm going to get rid of the background color for that, because that's looking fairly blue, hard to read those characters. And maybe over here we want to change our background color, so we want to maybe work with more of a grayscale feel. And the reason that we usually try to work with more of a grayscale feel is that whenever we haven't decided our color schema yet, we want to stick with the grayscale in order to be able to add in different color variations and shades later on. So usually grayscale is a great way to start if you don't have a color schema that you've already set up and that you're ready to use. So in the next lesson, let's dive deeper into CSS and really see what we can get done.